Hello everyone, today I am discussing about statements in SQL. Statements are used to perform CRUD operations in database. As we discussed earlier, CRUD stands for C stands for create, R stands for retrieve, U stands for update and D stands for delete. There are five statements in SQL. First one is data definition language DDL, data manipulation language DML, transaction control language TCL, data control language DCL, data query language DQL. First of all, I want to discuss about data query language. Data query language, this statement is used to retrieve the data from database. It is used to retrieve the data from the database. There are four statements in the data query language. They are select, projection, selection, joins. First statement is select. Select. This statement is used to retrieve the data from the database and display it. Projection. This statement is used to retrieve the data from database by selecting only column. It will only display the columns. By default, it will display only the columns in projection. And the selection. This statement is used to retrieve the data from the database by selecting both columns and records. It is used to retrieve the data of both columns. As discussed in the earlier, data will be stored in the database is in the form of tables. It will retrieve the data, means we can access the data by table, by rows and columns. Joins. This statement is used to retrieve the data from the database from multiple tables simultaneously. We can retrieve the data from two tables or multiple tables by using joins. To retrieve the data, we want to update a query. We want to write a query. Query is a condition which is written by following the syntax to retrieve the data from the database. By using some syntaxes, syntax are nothing but rules. By using these rules, we can update or we can access the data from the database. For example, I am having some student table. It consists of attributes like student ID, student name, branch, percentage. And these are the students and their branch and their percentage and their ID number. Suppose I want to write a query to display the student ID from student table. So when we don't have any separate query for select. It should be used by using the project. It should be used along with projection. Syntax to get the data from the tables is select SID from student. In the execution, it will start from the and it is a student as the table name, and after the compiler will start from the database. It will first look in the database if we have the student table. If the student table is having, then it will be under the execution, and it will then it will be go to the select, where it will be displaying the where it will access the student ID and display all the student ID details as the output. Statements are also known as clauses. Suppose we want to write a query to display student name from student table, query and output as well. Suppose we want to display only student name, then we same exactly as above. From student table, the data, the compiler will start from the database and look for the student table. If the student table is present, then it will be under the execution. Then it will select the student as I want student name. So it will select the student name attribute or column. Then it will be display all the attributes present in the student table of a student name. Write a query to display student ID and student name from student table. Suppose if we want two tables, suppose if we want two columns, then we can select SID. We have to put comma, then student name. From student, we have to exit the query by using the semicolon. Semicolon is mandatory. If we have 10 lines of code, then we have semicolon in the last. We can display as a student ID and student name. It will be display all the details. As I above said, write a query to display the branch and percentage from student table. Same we can separate as comma. From the database, it will be check for the student table. If it is present, it will be under the execution, and the compiler pointer will be goes to the select, and then it will print all the branch and percentage output details as output. Now write a query to display all the details from student table. For example, if we want to retrieve all the attributes, then we have to then we can give as from student, select student ID, student name, branch, percentage. If we have multiple or more than 10, 20, we can't write all of them. So we can use as select star from table from student. In this, it will be start from the from and from clause, and the student table will be searched in the database. Then the pointer will be goes to the select, and here star represents all the attributes present in the table. And the projection syntax is select asterisk, or we can also represent as distinct of column name or expression of alias from a table name. Order of execution, as I said, that it will be start from, and after that it will select the attributes. Note, from clause start the execution. From clause we start the execution. For from clause we can we will start from the from clause, and after that from that it will execution will be started. From clause we can pass table name as an argument. We can start the by giving the table name. It will be start from the from clause. The job of from clause is to go to the database and search for the table and put the table under execution. First of all, the execution will be started from the from clause, and it will be searched in the database. If the table is present in the database, if the table is present in the database, it will be put under the execution. The table will be in the execution. Now the select clause will executes the after the execution of the from after the from clause, the select clause will be executed. In select clause, we can also pass as our argument as asterisk represented by star, and column name and expression as an argument. For the job of select clause is to go to the table which is under execution and select the data and display. In select clause, it will be go to the table, and it will be which is in, under the execution. It will select the data which attribute to display or column to display. Select clause is responsible for the result of the table. After it will select the attribute, it will give the column as the output. Asterisk, it is used to determine to select all the columns. As I said that asterisk is used to display all the columns in the table. Semicolon, it is the end of the statement. If we have 10 lines of code, then the 10 lines of query, the semicolon will be placed in the end of the 10 lines of query. It is used to display the end of the statement. Thank you.